Hello, meteorologist Brad Warner for Region Weather Live. And we got another week and another little snowstorm moving through our area beginning of this week that we're going to talk about. Sorry about missing the last one. Was out sick all last week, was not feeling great at all. So unfortunately, that didn't really give me time to give you any updates. Thankfully, it wasn't that big of a storm. And actually, this next one could drop a fair amount of snow, but it won't be one of the largest storms we've seen this year by any chance. But nevertheless, we do have another little system to come through that is definitely worth talking about. So we're going to get into that, and then I'll offer you a little more of an apology at the end of this video. So let's get on into the forecast. So here we are once again. We've got a low pressure system that is moving on shore. Not ahead of it, we're basically going to create this jet stream to dip down a little bit as we move on in through the week. And the nose of that little jet stream right in through here, you see a little kink in there, right in through there. That's our little storm system at the upper levels as it moves through our region. Again, Tuesday on into Wednesday. And so by Tuesday morning, our low pressure system is just beginning to pull out of the Rockies. And you could see before that, the Gulf of Mexico, that moisture is wide open and moving in through our area. And so we're expecting to see some rain and snow across the Dakotas beginning already on Tuesday as that system just begins to pull out. And you can see as that continues to move to the east and eventually to the northeast, more rain, more snow, thunderstorms possible across southeastern portions of Minnesota going into Tuesday night. And then perhaps a mix of some freezing rain or some sleet here and there as that rain transitions over to snow going on into Wednesday. And then finally, it looks like by late Wednesday, going on into early Thursday morning, that low pressure system moves out of our area. And as always, I've got to caution you a little bit as it's still a little bit out there. We're still looking at Tuesday morning. Here's what we're starting with on a time frame. So it's a couple of days out there. So timing is going to be off. Positioning is going to be off a little bit. But here's just a rough idea of what to expect as far as timing and where some of the snow and rain will occur. Again, this is Tuesday morning right around 7 a.m. And by the time we get to about noon, the snow is expected to move possibly into southwestern parts of Minnesota with rain and kind of a transition area in between the rain and snow, some freezing rain and sleet. And then once we get into Tuesday evening around that 6 to 7 p.m. time frame, more snow begins to develop across kind of north and south Dakota, central portions of Minnesota. The warm air continues to kind of creep a little bit further to the north. So perhaps some of those areas that started off with the snow initially will eventually turn over to rain as that warm air begins to push further to the north. Once we get more into Tuesday night around midnight, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, some showers and thunderstorms possible across far southern and southern portions of Minnesota, perhaps far southeastern parts of South Dakota as well. We're looking at snow across possibly a good portion of North and South Dakota, and then mainly across the northern half of Minnesota at this point. And it looks like once we get into Wednesday morning, right around 6 to 7 a.m., that's really at this point when it looks like some of that heavy snow could really begin to ramp up. We see some of those storms that developed further to the south. That moisture now makes it into the northern part of that storm system and really begins to wrap up and get pushed into that colder air. So that's going to be the main time frame right now of concern, is that early Wednesday morning when we're going to be seeing potentially that heavy snow across eastern portions of South Dakota and then on into central portions of Minnesota. As we roll into about 9 or 10 a.m. and then noon time frame, you can see how that heavy snow just kind of takes a track right in through here at the moment. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as the best potential for seeing some of that heavier snow, where we could see 4 inches or more of snowfall throughout that area. And I'll have a little better graphic to show you exactly where. So this is noon, and then by the time we get into Wednesday evening, we're just left with a little bit of flurries across the northern portions of our viewing area before that system pulls out Wednesday night. And so here's where we're looking at the best chance for seeing the higher snowfall amounts. And we're kind of looking at least 4 inches or more. How much more exactly is yet to be seen. I mean, will it be 5 inches? Will it be 8 to 10 inches? Don't really know exactly just yet. It could be on the higher amounts for some areas. But to say specifically, I think it's a little too early to tell exactly how much some of your areas. But this is kind of the area, like I said, where we're looking at the higher snowfall amounts, the best chance. And so you're looking at Duluth and right through kind of lakes territory of Minnesota. And then you're kind of including Aberdeen, Watertown, down through Huron, possibly Pierre as well. And then that secondary area here in the yellow, International Falls, Grand Forks, just kind of clipping Bismarck, kind of in between Rapid City and Pierre, and then just kind of tapping Sioux Falls and including the Twin Cities area. So kind of that has a chance for seeing more than 4 inches, but not the prime area at this moment. So we'll see how this adjusts if this moves a little bit further to the north or to the south in either direction, and we'll get a little bit better idea of exactly how much snowfall we're expecting as we get into Monday. And I should mention that really most areas have at least a chance of some snow across our viewing area. I mean, I would say, going back into Williston, Dickinson, and even including Rapid City, you have a chance of seeing some snow, but you're kind of on that outside chance, probably not a great chance of seeing 4 inches or more, but nevertheless, you could definitely see some snowfall out of this. Maybe the one area I would say at the moment probably has the least chance is this far southeastern portions of Minnesota, probably looking more like rain, or if you're going to get anything, it'll be just kind of a dusting of snow at most. But you guys down the far southeast might actually be spared finally with this particular system. And we also have that freezing rain potential, and that's generally across the southern third or so of Minnesota, and then including eastern portions of the Dakotas. But kind of hard to tell exactly where or how much some of you will see in the form of this freezing rain or sleet. But if you're basically living in this area, just take note, you might have that potential for seeing some freezing rain, particularly as we get into Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. Now, the good thing with this is it doesn't look like the winds are going to be all that bad. This is Tuesday night around midnight, and then by Wednesday morning, some higher gusts a little bit further to the south here, but generally that's not really where we're expecting the higher snowfall. Where I had that area of greatest threat in through here, you might be looking at 30, 35 mile per hour winds, maybe an outside 40, and that'll definitely cause some drifting snow, but the chances for blizzard conditions I don't think are going to be there. I think the main threat really ultimately is going to be just how much snowfall we're going to see out of this. And like I mentioned, we have the potential of seeing some heavy snowfall going into Wednesday morning. Ultimately, that's going to be the biggest problem. It's just going to be the amount of snowfall falling in a shorter period of time going into Wednesday morning. I think that's going to be the bigger threat, more so than the winds. Now, once we get beyond that system, surprisingly somewhat, is that the models don't really have a whole lot for us through the remainder of the week and then going into next week. Now, the one thing that concerns me a little bit is we take a look at the upper level pattern going in through the remainder of the week and going on into the weekend. And we still kind of have this southwesterly flow going, and we still have this large low pressure system sitting down in the southwestern parts of the United States going on into the weekend. So there's a little concern perhaps that maybe a little branch of this kicks off and moves in through our area, bringing some snow and perhaps some rain as well, or maybe even a thunderstorm, who knows? But for the moment right now, the models don't really show anything. Now, beyond that, as we get beyond the weekend, it looks like things should actually quiet down. That's where I believe the model's a little bit more, especially when you take a look at the upper levels. Most of the flow is either split further to the south, or we've got kind of a northerly flow coming in through northeastern parts of Minnesota. And as we go in through the remainder of next week, I mean, it really looks fairly quiet, maybe a quick little hitting system here and there, but not the larger systems that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. And then the other good news with this, as we go into next week, if things pan out the way it's currently showing, temperatures should warm up across the area. Perhaps we'll be seeing highs in the 50s and 60s. And then even as you get into the Arrowhead area, you'll be seeing 40-degree temperatures going into next week. So if things continue to trend the way they are looking. So that's good news coming up on the horizon. So yeah, kind of an apology here. Missed this last storm system that went through South Dakota and Minnesota. Not feeling great. Boy, I tell you, when I switched my job over a year ago, I didn't think I'd be quite this busy, but I have been. It's crazy how much busier I've been since I've switched this job, and it's obviously made this portion of my life, the fun part to following the weather, has taken more of a backseat, unfortunately. So I apologize to everyone. I know there's a handful of people that look for this. I will definitely continue to do and watch out for the bigger systems, especially in the winter when we're talking about several inches of snow. I'll definitely be watching out for the summer in case we've got a severe weather outbreak expected. I don't want to miss that for sure, but I'm hoping as time goes on, and it might take a year, that eventually I'll get back to doing this a little more frequently. And who knows what will come in the future. I don't know. I love doing this. This is fun, but it's been getting more and more difficult, especially, like I said, after I switched the job, and didn't expect that. Sorry to my followers that have been watching over the last number of years here. I appreciate it very, very much. Continue to do so. Like I said, I'll continue to be there, especially for the larger ones. I don't want to miss those at all. But it might be ones like last week where some areas got 3-4 inches of snow. Might wind up missing those here and there. It just depends on how things fall exactly. So, and as always, don't feel or feel obligated to reach out on Facebook, Instagram, or even on YouTube here. Write a question and I will see it and get back to you. If you got something coming up, I'd love to answer people's questions if they have something specific coming that they want an answer to. More than happy to answer any questions. So please feel free to reach out to me, even if I'm not always posting, and I will definitely get back to you. All right, everybody. For Region Weather Live, I am meteorologist Brad Werner. Everybody have a good day.